This video report is brought to you in association with Halcyon, the classic 95-foot Bermudan ketch built in 1929, which is now available for charter. Jogg's Le Havre race, which started on Friday evening, was well down on numbers due to the majority of the fleet competing in RORC's Morgan Cup Race as part of qualifying for the Fastnet. Class 5 mustered just 3 boats for a downwind start to the east in a nice force 2-3 against the last of the ebb. Blustery Day took line and corrected time honours after taking 20 hours for the 90-mile course. Jubilee took second, and Firebird of St Helier retired. Three yachts started in Class 4, but we were filming the RORC start at the same time, so didn't see their start. But Just So was first home and the winner on handicap. 5 raced in Class 3, and Essex Girl maintained the double line and handicap honours trend. Floating Boater took second, and Night Owl rounded out the top 3. A few hundred metres to the east, RORC was starting its Morgan Cup race on the squadron line. Class 3 led the way with 27 yachts heading off to the east on a course which would take them to Cherbourg via the Nab Tower and Ower's Light Buoy. David Lee's High Tension 36 Hepzibah took the corrected time win after 22 hours of racing. The Nicholson 33 Iromigi took second, just 30 seconds behind Hepzibah, and the Daler 38 Long Pierre was third. Class 2 had 29 starters, and this class was won by the first 40.7 Playing Around Logic. They had a 10-minute victory over Noel Racine's Foggy Dew, with the X34 XR Mirrorboard coming in third. Class 1 had 25 starters, and the first 3 into Cherbourg shared the top handicap positions. The J122 Jolly Jellyfish led the fleet home but fell to third on handicap. The first 40.7 Encore finished second on the water but grabbed the handicap prize, while the Reflex 38 Puma Logic took second. Classes 0 and Super Zero started together and set off in pursuit of the slower boats. In Class 0, Pieter Bruin's new Cur 46 Tonnerre de Breskens carried on in her winning ways in the 19-boat fleet. She led them into Cherbourg by over an hour and won on handicap by over 30 minutes. The X41 Pharaoh took second, with the J133 Batfish 3 in third place. There were only 2 boats in Super Zero, and the TP52 Cutting Edge finished in just under 16 hours and beat Spliff, the Class 40 of Andrew Dawson, by nearly 2 hours on corrected time. The next RORC race is the Cows to Dinard race on the 10th of July. 10 teams raced in the Etchells South Coast Championship this weekend, which was run by the Royal Corinthian Yacht Club. 3 windward leeward races were scheduled each day, with Saturday delivering a variable west-southwesterly, which topped out at force 3-4. Lawrence Mead in Freelance showed his intent as he hit the line on the pin at the start of the first race. Mead and most of the fleet went left, but Arbitrator, sailed by Graham Bailey, David Heritage and Stephen Bailey, went right, and they had the race won by the first mark as they rounded with a comfortable lead. Although the wind lightened and swung, so much so that the last run turned into a fetch, Bailey led the fleet home to put his marker down for the series. After a wait for wind, Ante Razmilovic led the way in race 2 ahead of Bailey and Mead. Then in race 3, with the best breeze of the day, Mead again won the pin, and this time went on to score his first win, ahead of Razmilovic and Bailey, to tie for the lead with Bailey at the halfway stage. On Sunday, Graham Bailey posted a consistent 2-2-1 scoreline to win the event by 2 points from Mead, whose 6th in race 4 ended his hopes of the win. Ante Razmilovic scored 3-4-2 to take 3rd overall, another 2 points adrift. The Cowes Corinthian Yacht Club were using the Royal Corinthian start line for this weekend's round of the Cowes Keelboat Solent Series. 12 Darings came to the line for Saturday's race, with a tricky start which favoured the inshore end of the line close to the Squadron's Haven wall. Defender won the start and led the fleet on the short beat to the west, along the green to the first mark of Kingston Marine Services. Defender was easily first to the mark, but they sailed past it on the wrong side, not realising it was their first mark. Behind them, some confusion reigned, but most got it right and rounded the mark, then headed off under spinnaker for the Air Canada buoy. Defender finally realised her error and set off downwind, but without rounding the buoy correctly. Dynamite went on to win the nearly 2-hour race from Darius, Defender and Audax. On Sunday, Defender made up for her error on Saturday by winning the 2.25-hour race ahead of Dolphin and Dynamite. Four Dragons raced on Saturday, and this fleet was led home by Supremacy, with Jerboa in 2nd and Cavalier 3rd. On Sunday, Ecstatic took the win ahead of Jerboa and Cavalier. The 60-year-old pleasure steamer Balmoral visited Cowes on Saturday as part of her Diamond Jubilee celebrations. Balmoral began life as a red funnel ferry in 1949 and operated between Southampton and Cowes for 20 years. After later falling into disrepair as a floating restaurant in Dundee, she was rescued by the friends and supporters of the Waverley and returned to service in 1986. She usually operates in the Bristol Channel, as well as visiting other ports and piers around the UK. This weekend, she was celebrating her Diamond Jubilee on Saturday by following the route of her operational debut, sailing from Southampton to Cowes and then on to what became a regular summer excursion, a cruise around the Isle of Wight. Her visit attracted lots of interest and passengers for her round the island cruise. The Cowes-based paddle steamer Monarch was also dressed overall to help Balmoral celebrate her 60th birthday. Well, that's it for this week. Join us next week for the Island Sailing Club's 120th anniversary regatta, the Daring Stug Perry Trophy and the X1 Designs Open Regatta. See you then. This video report was brought to you in association with Halcyon, the classic 95-foot Bermudan ketch built in 1929, which is now available for charter.